Good afternoon to you all, and thank you so much for joining us here for a new campaign spearheaded by the incredible Angela Rippon, CBE Let's Dance. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Lisa Wainwright. I'm the Chief Exec of the Sport and Recreation Alliance. And who are they? Well, we are the independent voice of the sport, recreation and physical activity sector. We have around 300 organisations, and we could play the alphabet game of athletics, basketball, cricket, etc., but we're not going to do that. And we're here basically to protect and promote our members' needs. But before I go a bit more into this session, I just want to know who's on the call. So it's a bit like speed dating. In the chat box, just tell me who you are and where you come from. And then the team from the Alliance might give us a bit of a shout out. So over to you. What's your name and which organisation do you come from? Oh, I can see some coming through. Fantastic. Brilliant. Keep typing. There's a lot of you in there. Hi, Mark. Hi, Hannah. Fantastic. I'm going to continue just because time is short and you are busy people, but that is just super brilliant in terms of the breadth of organisations and people that we have in the room with us today. And thank you so much for joining us for this session. I do know how busy you all are running your own organisations. But we wanted to hold these sessions with sector representatives first to give you all a little bit of a pre-launch before the campaign goes live. And as is this campaign, that you'll only work if everybody gets together, and that's what dance is all about, is working together. And we want you to ensure that you spread the word. And it's brilliant that movement, dance and exercise organisations and all our supporters are going to get together, but get these details first. And we've got some great people to come along a little bit later to talk to you on this session. But first, the serious bit, I guess, in terms of, so why we're running this campaign. So a little bit of background. Back in 2023, the Sport and Recreation Alliance, through our movement and dance division, actually, some superb work by the members of that division, produced a report on the social value of movement and dance. Now, it's the first of its kind that really demonstrated that, you know, movement and dance has a unique power of getting some of our most inactive populations moving. But yet movement and dance is underutilised in this country. And some of the figures, you will see the report on our website. Movement and dance generates 2 billion by uplifting participants' well-being and saves the nation's pocket by preventing illness. I'm going to read this to you, so forgive me, but that includes 50 million in 2.7 million fewer GP visits. And I know Angela's absolutely adamant we're going to support the NHS on this. It saved 157 million by reducing type 2 diabetes. And movement and dance actually reduced the risk of developing dementia to the tune of 149 million. And believe you me, my mum's got dementia. If she'd done more movement and dance, I'm sure she'd be in a much better place. But we all know that in an inactive population still, we know that movement and dance can speak and be available for so many more people. And we are determined to realise that full potential. So a few months ago, I had the huge pleasure of meeting Angela Rippon, who's going to come on call in a second. And her passion was really around driving more people to dance and feeling the social and health benefits of dance, which again, I know everybody on this call knows what they are, but I just have to reiterate it. And Angela had a desire, she'll talk about it, post Strictly 23 as a contestant. She had so much profile with Kaya and were absolutely fabulous. But beyond this, Angela wanted to use this profile to really inspire far more people, and in particular older people, to pick up dancing. So as I say, I'm going to hand over to Angela in a little while to talk about her experiences and conversations she's had since those first introductions. And she'll talk through really what Let's Dance is, but also why and what's behind the campaign. I'll then hand you over to Olivia Williams, who's from the absolutely phenomenal Together Coalition. Now, many of you might have been involved in the Big Health Out, National Fitness Day, or the big thank you. And that's what the Together Coalition do. And I'm delighted to say that they're leading the campaign alongside Angela and ourselves at the Sport and Recreation Alliance. And then as a latter part of the session, we'll be doing a Q&A. So please be ready with your questions and answers, and the team at the Alliance will be fielding those for us. So that's a 5-minute intro, but absolutely with no further ado, I would like to introduce you to the person and the reason why we're here today, and that is the absolutely wonderfully fabulous Angela Rippon, MBE, founder of Let's Dance. Over to you, Angela.
There we go. Okay, you've got me now, right? Well, I'm the one that's sitting here with a grin from ear to ear. I can't tell you how delighted I am to know that I think there are 75 of you on this call, which, wow, I can't tell you how this exceeds my expectations. Lisa, thank you for that terrific introduction. Let me just explain to you why I have become so passionate about this, and really why we're all here. I think several of you will know that I had the pleasure of taking part in Strictly Come Dancing this time last year. And while I was doing it, I was completely overwhelmed by the number of people. And I can't really say this without sounding a bit big-headed, and apologies for that. But I had so many people telling me that because of my age at 79, and I'm now just 2 weeks away from being 80 a year later, that I was an inspiration to a lot of people. And we're not just talking about older people, we're talking about younger people as well, who just said, you know, how fantastic it was. And I was completely overwhelmed by that. And I was asked to be on the Today radio program on Radio 4, which usually deals with sort of world events and politics. And while I was waiting to be interviewed by them about what I was doing on Strictly, I could hear Chris Whitty, who's the Chief Medical Officer for England, talking beforehand, talking about the terrible state of the NHS financially, and basically saying that if we all took responsibility for our own health by going to the gym, by taking up a sport, or dancing, we could actually get fit and strong and help out the National Health Service. And I thought, that's it. That's what I can do. So when I went on air immediately after Chris, who didn't know that I was going to be spoken to, I just said, well, I think if Chris Whitty's still listening, I can tell you that as old age pensioners, we're all going to do our best to help the National Health Service. But actually, I thought, no, it's got to be bigger than that. So throughout the beginning of the year, I kept thinking about how can I use the profile that I've got? This idea that actually we can all do something to help the National Health Service while we're doing something to help ourselves physically and mentally in terms of our general health and well-being. And I looked into everything that major dance companies were doing. And I know that the Royal Academy of Dance is doing Silver Swans programs for people who are over 55, that the National Association of Teachers of Dance have their Diamond Dancing programs, that all of you do things, and that individually, every single one of you who is a dance teacher or involved in dance in some way or another is doing something for people over 60, is doing something for people who are lonely or isolated, or who feel that they're overweight, or who just love dancing and love the joy of dance. But the more I looked into it, the more I could see where dancing was concerned. You were all doing this in silos. You were kind of doing it individually, every one of you. Wonderful work you were doing. But the nation as a whole was not necessarily aware of just what the scope of dance is in this country and what it can do for people physically and mentally in terms of their general health and well-being. And the more I looked into that side of it, having done a film about dance in Germany, where they put, I think it was 20 dancers over 60 against 20 people in a gym who were over 60 to see which was the best kind of exercise they could have. And it was in a program I was doing with Chris Van Tulligan on a series I did called How to Stay Young. And dance came out on top. And the more I looked into it, I found more and more reports from all sorts of medical associations, particularly from those doctors who were interested in using non-medical interventions for medical conditions like stress, like depression, like obesity, like loneliness, like bullying, all of those things. And they wanted people to get out and dance. And I thought, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can bring all the dance companies in the country together, harness all that energy, all that strength, all that professional ability, and at the same time get the nation to have a different attitude towards dance, not just think of it as being something that you watch for entertainment or that you occasionally do in family get-togethers or you might go to a disco, but that actually there is so much evidence-based material, so much available, as all of you will know, to demonstrate that dance is actually one of the best forms of exercise for mind and body, because it uses every single bit of your body, and you've got to use your brain to remember what you're doing. Regardless of your age, you can do it from cradle to grave, regardless of what your ability is. How can I harness all of that and give it a major national platform in the public's eyes, so that they think, when they want to get fit, that they don't just think about the gym or taking up running or playing football or a different kind of sport, but they actually think also about dance as a way of getting fit and healthy, improving their lifestyle. And most importantly, it ticks not just all of those health and well-being boxes, it also ticks the social boxes. You're never lonely or isolated if you go to a dance class. And also look at the endorphins that it releases. You will all know a dance class is a happy place. You just feel so good. And when you talk to people who go to dance class, they all say, I just feel so good afterwards. So I wanted to harness all of that. And on May the 8th, I managed, under the auspices of the Sport and Recreation Alliance, to bring together some of the major dance organisations of which I was aware, like the Institute for, the Imperial Society of Teachers of Dance, the National Association of Teachers of Dance, People Dancing, the Royal Academy, the Language of Dance, the Council for Dance, Drama and Musical Theatre, One Dance UK. I brought all of those representatives, people of whom I was aware, together for a meeting and said, this is my bonkers idea. What I want to do is get the nation dancing. I want to get the nation fit. Is this something we can do? And as a result, with those organisations and several others, and now something, well, I sent out an email last weekend to the people that are now involved with us, because they are doctors, they are organisations that are involved in doing reports into national health. I sent out 71 emails to all of those people that are involved. And now, today, there's another 75 of you joining us. Basically, what I want to do is on March the 2nd, which is a Sunday of next year, have a National Day of Dance. I want to get every dance teacher in the country, particularly those who recognise perhaps that during the pandemic, they suffered badly financially, a way of increasing, if you like, their business profile. I wanted to get to more people to think dance is something I can do to get fit and healthy. And as Lisa mentioned, yes, particularly for older people, again, I mean, the reports that I've read about the way in which falls are the thing that get more people over 65 into hospital than anything else, followed rapidly by diabetes. But where falls are concerned, I saw a statistic by an organisation called ESOP who had done a report on this, which said a staggering 865 people over 65 are in hospital every day because they've had a fall. And the cost of that to the National Health Service is £4.4 billion, with just over £1 billion of it going into social care as aftercare. And who knows what that does to individuals who have terrible falls, how it can then make them feel really bad about themselves. They get so anxious that they become agoraphobic. They lose a lot of self-confidence. And that's just one section of community. People who have had depression, the Institute of Social Prescribing wants more doctors, and more doctors themselves want to prescribe things like dance instead of giving people more pills, more pharmaceuticals, which are costing the NHS something in the region of £2 billion a year. So by bringing every dance teacher in the country under the umbrella of the campaign that we are calling Let's Dance, what I'm hoping is that all dance teachers will become part of our consortium. We're not a charity. We're not telling you what to do because you already know what to do in your classes and with your teachers. But you may have teachers who perhaps do want to expand their businesses, who want to give opportunities to new young teachers that are coming out that can't have a class of their own, but perhaps can join their particular dance school and give extra classes, go into care homes, do more with Parkinson's to help people. Parkinson's UK tell me that dance is a miracle for people with Parkinson's, people with dementia, and their carers who go along to dance meetings that are run by Care UK or the Alzheimer's Society. All of these people benefit so much from it. Young people who are being bullied at school, they benefit so much from going to a dance class. There are so, you can tell I get passionate and carried away by this. I'm so sorry. But all of this is what I would like to do, is to get every dance teacher in the country to be part of the Let's Dance consortium and say that you will join us in opening up your doors, particularly on March the 2nd, and we'll tell you more about this later, to tell your local community what dance classes you can provide for various sections of your community, from the very young littlies dancing with their mums or with their dads, right the way through to pensioners, that you can provide more dance classes if that's what your members want to do, and to give them the backing of all of the evidence-based material we've got from so many authorized medical backgrounds that say that dance really is a brilliant way of getting fit and strong and healthy, regardless of your age, in mind and body throughout your life. We're going to tell you about some of the things we're doing, but for instance, we've already got the Eden Project in Cornwall saying that we can have one of the domes on March the 2nd and have an open day of dance. And so if any of you represent teachers in Cornwall, you will be hearing about that and being asked to be part of it. Dunfermline House in Scotland, that the King, when he was Prince Charles, renovated. We've got that as a Scottish base for an open day on that day. We're going to hopefully have one in Blackpool, in Manchester, certainly in London, and we're looking for locations in Wales and in Northern Ireland. But we want dance teachers all over the country to be part of this, to say we're opening our doors as dance teachers. We can get you fit and strong and healthy, regardless of your age, and we would like you to be part of the Let's Dance movement. And I know it doesn't matter how enthusiastic or passionate I am about this, it's not something that's going to work without all of you and without all of your members. You are the frontline troops who will be able to deliver this, who will go on delivering the brilliant work you already do, but under a national campaign called Let's Dance, which hopefully will not just provide more opportunities for those dance teachers who want to expand their businesses into other areas, but will also persuade half the nation at least to think about dance as a way of getting fit and healthy. We've got lots more to tell you about it, but basically that's the background to what I've done and why I'm doing it. And I can't tell you how delighted I am that all of you representing other organisations that I've not had an opportunity of meeting or speaking to yet have been prepared to come on today to this web meeting and hear a bit more about what we're doing. That's the basic background to it. So Lisa, over to you again.
Oh, Angela, thank you so much. If you're not inspired by that, oh, I don't know what you wouldn't be inspired by. And I just love a bonkers idea, by the way. So thank you so much, Angela. I've noted through the chat, there's lots of you from the 75 organisations today putting information and toolkits things up. That's exactly what we want. And I'm sure Olivia will start to talk to you about how those can be utilised, enhanced and exemplified across the country. But with no further ado, as I mentioned, we are delighted to invite the Together Coalition to be our key campaign partner. And Angela's been working with them to a significant amount and with my team to get to where we are today. So over to you, Olivia, to talk us through the campaign timelines and how we get involved.
Yes, certainly. Thank you so much for that introduction, Lisa. And as ever, brilliant speech from Angela. I don't think anyone talked about the campaign quite as well. So I will now dive into a little bit of who we are, just so you understand the background of where we come into this, and also dive into the campaign, as everyone suggested. So I'm going to put up a few slides. Don't worry, there's not thousands of them, just a few. So hopefully you can all see my screen, if someone can let me know if you can't. But so the Together Coalition was created from aligning dozens of separate conversations highlighting a shared concern in the UK around an increasing disconnect and division that was happening. And these organisations range from everyone from sort of the sport organisations to the NHS through to RBS and the Scouts. And we all came together as a coalition to recognise that we needed to work on this, but we need to work on it on a way that is quite gentle, through campaigning and then some policy in some different ways. But what that looked like was a mission to create a society that's kinder, closer and more connected. Now that vision, we turn it into a mission, and that mission is to support organisations to build opportunities for connection. And that's really where my place as an organisation comes into this, because we really recognise that dance has all these amazing physical, mental health benefits, but also it's such an amazing tool for connection. You just meet new people by going out to dance, joining a dance class or whatever you may be doing. So that's where we came into it, to support Angela and the Sport and Recreation Alliance to build this campaign. As Lisa said at the top of the call, campaigning is what we do in terms of the Big Help Out and Thank You Day and a few other bits and pieces that we do. So if any of you are trying to Google my organisation, I do apologise. We've had some technical difficulties. So you will see that our website's down, but I promise if you want more information, it will be back up shortly. Now, to dive into Let's Dance and really why everyone is here today. So simply building on everything Angela's just said right then, and to summarise, Let's Dance plans to be a nationwide movement of dance organisations, teachers, charities, healthcare professionals, community groups, celebrities, all getting together on the 2nd of March 2025 with just one objective: to get more people dancing. The campaign as a whole aims to raise the awareness for the benefits of dance for your mental and physical health, make it easier than ever for people to join in, and bring people together across divides to connect through dance. But plainly, we need your help to make this happen. The campaign should be led by dance organisations, and it is also for dance organisations. So our ears are open to what you want this to look like. And also, it's a very white label campaign. We're not saying you have to do this or do that. You're the experts in this space. We want you to run with it. All we ask is you help get the nation dancing. But why join in? So like I said, you are the dance experts. It's also something that Angela's echoed. You know this space very well. All we want to do with the campaign is help you attract new people to your style of dance, spread the word about dance in your community, and also provide you with the opportunity to try something new out. Maybe there's some idea you've had in the back of your brain for ages about ways you want to engage a new demographic or parents of a class. This is your opportunity to try that out. And finally, you'll be sharing the benefits of dance, which I think everyone on this call probably agree is a very, very primary objective. Now, getting involved, what does this look like? So we've been working very closely with the Sports and Recreation Alliance to put together a communications brief so that you can go out and spread the word and really know what you're saying to your audiences about this campaign, whether or not it's internally, externally, letting different people know. All of that will be listed in this communications brief. So the first call to action, if I can ask you to do anything this month, it will be spread the word. Then plan your dance events. You know the date, you know when we're asking you to get involved. Start planning. What could it look like to use an existing class and invite new people in, create a taster session? What does it mean for your organisation to get involved in Let's Dance? Now, there will be a little bit more information and guidance coming soon, but again, the campaign will still remain quite broad because we want you to be creative and find ways to engage people. And also for you to look inside your own organisations. What kind of strategies and plans do you have in place for 2025? Is there anything you're aiming to achieve, and can Let's Dance be a part of achieving that? And finally, reach out to new organisations to work with. A huge part of Let's Dance is reaching new audiences and getting new people involved. Could you reach out to care homes, schools, community groups like the WI, whoever it may be, and get them dancing? We'll also be actively pushing this campaign to the public and to broader organisations to be doing the same. But obviously, the much that you can do with that proactively is also fantastic, which I think all of that drills down to just providing opportunities for people to get dancing. Now, a little bit of the timeline, just so you're all aware of what this campaign looks like on a whole, and obviously we'll keep you updated as this progresses and provide you with different materials, assets and resources. But we're currently in the month of save the date, spread the word, get planning. So there will be a media moment, and to speak on behalf of Angela, but Angela is going to be on the One Show next week on Friday to celebrate her birthday. So Angela is very happy, and we are very grateful to use that moment as a launch for Let's Dance. So she'll also be mentioning the campaign and bringing that up. And as you can all imagine, that is a huge moment for the campaign. So we will be driving all of you to go out and use that comms brief around that time. So when you have that comms brief, you'll have all this lovely pieces of information that you can push out to join Angela in pushing out the launch and telling people that Let's Dance is happening. But there's still obviously this time and trigger to plan your events. So November to December, get planning your involvement, finalise what your events and classes should look like. Again, more information on that will come from us. There's a little bit of guidance and help and support, but generally we want you to run with it. And then in January and February, we'll be planning a big media moment. It's a sort of campaign springboard to really tell the public that this is happening. It's happening in your community. Go find a dance session near you. It will be a media launch that we'll work with Angela on and the Sport and Recreation Alliance. But also, it's the month for you to keep promoting your events. There'll be much more media buzz around it. So use this buzz and talk about it on your social media channels and with your networks. And finally, use this as your time to tell us what you're up to. So there'll be links in the communications brief to tell us what kind of event you're planning to host, how you're planning to engage, so that we can incorporate that in all of our media planning, so that by the time the 2nd of March, we know everything that's happening across the UK, and we can speak to local radio stations, local news outlets, and really hope help Let's Dance be everywhere on the 2nd of March, which brings me on to the day itself, the day of dance. We're just hoping that there'll be dance events, taster sessions, classes happening up and down the country for Let's Dance Day. So this is a very whistle-stop tour of everything that's happening, and obviously we'll answer any questions, but if you want to take anything away from me and what I'm saying, it's spread the word this October and help us help you get the nation dancing on the 2nd of March next year. Thank you very much, everyone, and I will pass back over to Lisa.
Thank you, Olivia. So 2nd of March is now in your diaries, and it is definitely in mine. But Angela, just on the back of that, is there anything you want to just come in on at all? And you're on mute, Angela.
There we go. Sorry, everybody. Not really, just except to say that I think October the 11th, it is going to be an opportunity on the One Show for me to talk about the campaign in general. And I do recognise that there will be perhaps teachers who say, not really interested. There will be members of the public who say, couldn't care less. But there will be an awful lot of them who will say, actually, that sounds terrific and that's something I'd like to be involved in. And so that really, I suppose, is the launch day for what we're doing. And we've already got lots and lots of media interest in what we're doing, radio, television, newspapers, magazines. So there will be lots of information out there telling people, members of the public who perhaps have never thought of dance before as a way of getting fit and keeping fit, the importance of it, and all the material that we've got that is evidence-based from all of our medical associates and stakeholders. That will give you as teachers the opportunity to say, it's not just us saying, oh, you know, we'd like to make our school a bit bigger, or we'd like to do a bit more work, or we're a load of fluffy people saying dance is lovely. No, there will be the evidence-based material there that every one of your dance teachers can point to and say, look, it's not just us saying it, actually the medical profession are following it too. And hopefully one of the people that I'm going to be talking to in a couple of weeks' time will be Wes Streeting, who is the current Secretary of State for Health. I met him recently and he very kindly gave me his mobile number, so I know where he lives. He's on my list. And also the man who runs the National Health Service. I've got a number of hospitals that are interested in what we're doing, care homes that want to know what we're doing. My goodness, already, just on a sort of very low level, there is such a wave of interest in dance going into various organisations like Age UK, like the Alzheimer's Society, like the Carers Trust, like the Girl Guides, the WVS, the Women's Institute. All of these are organisations that say, we want more dance at our meetings. We want more people who are belonging to us and involved with us to get involved with dance. It's Lisa mentioned my crazy idea, and I did say to them at the beginning, look, I've got this crazy idea, do you think it'll work? And we dropped a pebble into a pond, and all of those tiny, tiny ripples are growing into a tsunami with the number of people who say, tell us more, we want to be involved. And I hope that that's the message we're getting across to you guys as well.